In this drawing tutorial we are going to draw with black Conté pastel pencil and white pastel pencil, also with color pencils. And we're going to draw a magnificent mountain landscape. The setup is done with the black pastel pencil, and in this stage you will want to decide what kind of composition you are going to make. In this case I'm drawing a left river bench and a rock formation and some trees, just to give the drawing a little bit of playfulness. The middle area will be a dull rock formation, while in the background there will be 3 very prominent mountains. I've watched Google images for different kinds of mountains, and this one really stood out for me. And I've studied it, and now I'm drawing it just by imagination actually. And as you can see, the first mountain is rather high, the second a little bit lower, and the third even lower. The mountains are surrounding a lake, and here you can see the slope below. This is the middle part. That will be all in the shadow, so rather dull. And I need that for the difference between the 3 prominent mountains, which I want to get all the attention to. And here I'm starting out to draw in the shadows that are casted on the high mountains. In this drawing, the light is coming from behind the mountains on the right side. So the left side will be the darkest. I'm still all drawing this in with the black Conté or black pastel pencil. This is the middle area. That area is all in the shadow, and so I put in some graduations of gray, but all of it is rather dark. And I need this area a lot because of the dullness of it. Makes the mountains in the back really stand out. Here is the left side, and this area is half in the shadow, half in the light. So I press very softly on my pencil. And here is the river bench. There are some rocks in the shadow, and for the trees there are also a little bit of shadow on the left side of the trees. It is rather rough, but I can put in a little bit of detail here. Here I'm placing in the shadow for the last mountain, the little one that's really farthest away from us. And I'm still deciding where all the shadows are going. I also want to make a little bit of reflection in the water of the lake. So I'm copying the right dull mountain, if you like, and here a little bit of reflection, so you can see the difference between the mountains and the water. Now it's time for the white pencil. To make sure that I do not erase all that I've drawn in already with my hand, I put a little piece of paper underneath my hand. That way my drawing will stay intact and I can put my hand on the paper to draw in the details of the snow that is laying on the mountains. Already you can see how the gray of the paper is working together with my pastel in the white and in the black. The mountains get that nice 3D effect this way. Also, it's very nice to see how the white and the black is working together, and by leaving a little bit of the paper between them, it really looks like there are rocks and structures and all of those nice detail, just by using a middle gray paper. It has a little bit of grain, not too much, but it's also not too smooth. So the pastel really can grab onto the paper and you get a nice structure. Here I'm working my way down in the slope below, and here I'm working my way up again for the middle mountain. Here you can see very nicely how the Conte and the white pastel, so the black and the white, also can mix together to get some distance effect. Now and then I really take a look, and for the dullness of the middle part, oops, well, that's broken. That's better. To get the dullness of the middle part, I place over with a black color pencil, which is more greasy than the pastel, of course. And this way I glue together the black powder of the pastel into the paper. I also use the white color pencil, because this part is in the shadow. You can see a little bit of detail, but it has to be as dull as possible, and that is why I rub it over with the color pencils. Then the left area. For this I've taken the white pastel pencil again, because here there's a little bit of snow, of course, and also here the light hits that rock formation, and I draw around the trees. And because I've put in a little bit of black pastel powder on it, I can rub it together, and I place a little bit of detail into the trees. And even though it's very, very rough, you still get the idea that there are some trees growing there. And here on the river bench, of course, there's a little bit of snow, and on the rocks that are just laying in the water. Then here is the low part, also covered in snow, and here the sun also hits this ground. It's really low, and that stretches out to where the water will start. Here I take out a little bit of the black pastel, and that way it does not get too grayish when I go over it with the white pastel. Here I put in a little bit of reflection, and then I simply place a little bit of white between that. I do not put too much detail into the water because I want all the attention to go to the 3 mountains that are in the back. Still, you can perfectly see the difference between what is water and what are mountains. The middle area can be a little bit darker, so I go over that a little bit with the Conte. For the river bench itself, I put in a little bit of detail to get the line of some kind of horizon, if you want. Now, maybe you've been to areas with high mountains. I myself was in Austria, and what I noticed is that the clouds there are very odd. It's like because the air is really cold, the clouds behave differently than when you are in plain area, or when the air is very warm. Then the clouds are really different. In this case, I make those kinds of flary clouds and not too many clouds again, because I still want the mountains to be the most prominent in this drawing. But a little bit of clouds will work to get even more attention to those mountains. I also put in a little bit of black, but I really press really soft, so the sky itself doesn't get too dark. You can also rub it in a little bit. Rub the pastel into the paper, but I still want to see the structure of the paper, so I do not rub it in all the way. I was watching my drawing again, and I think it's time to get the really hard details, and you do not want to exaggerate this too much, but you also want to put a little bit of courage in this drawing. So, well, it can get a little bit more darkness. So I'm simply trying this out, and you will get more detail, more difference between the whites and the blacks. You can see how nice the mountains pop up. It's like the rocks are really coming forward. And here for the top of the middle mountain, which one I want to get the most attention, I really put the white and the black next to each other. So that's a lot of detail there, and a lot of courage, of course. So that one pops out really harsh. And because I've drawn in those white top of the mountains, I put it in a little bit, of course, again into the water. Now that I've done this, the middle area also needs a little bit more black, so it doesn't drop back all the way. And here, that's that little mountain that's just visible, and in the deepness of the valley. This is so nice to do. You can go all the way, always you want, and I hope you will try this and get your imagination going. Hope you give it a big like, and to see you again soon in one of my other videos. Take care, have fun, bye bye.